The benefit of selling at the market is you get to meet the individual customer one by one. You get to tell them the story behind the sauce, the story behind the maker, food that was going on in their fridges to my house. So we had a gas stove, we had barbecues. So I just cooked
Instant
up.
party.
Yeah, instant party, because all the beers were really warm as well.
Yeah, you've got to drink them before that.
So I just cooked with a few of the other ladies and everything, and I said, "Oh, do this. Oh, okay, this one will do
That's how
this."
it started.
That's how it started. And one of the neighbours went, "You've got to do this like for real."
What were you doing before that?
I was an architect.
Wow. You Malaysian?
Yes,
So are you?
yes.
Wow, what a great story.
Hi, I'm Lisa. I'm the Saucy Wench, and I make sauces and dumplings right here in Brisbane. And I source all my produce locally, and all my sauces and dumplings are made in small batches. They've got no MSG, no preservatives. They're absolutely delicious. I have two food businesses. One is, of course, Saucy Wench sauces and dumplings, but the food business that started it all was Cooking Club Brisbane, which is cooking workshops. So they're about social cooking. It's not really a cooking class per se. Before Cooking Club and Saucy Wench, I was doing drafting on Revit and AutoCAD for architects and for builders. And I did it for many years freelance because I had 3 kids and I would work from home. In between projects, sometimes it would be very quiet. I would cook. Sometimes I'd be so bored that the kids would be eating all day. But I love to cook. So Cooking Club Brisbane kind of started in a rough kind of way with a chicken pie, I like to call it, because what happened was where we live, there's floods here. So in 2016 there was a flood warning because there's a creek just down the road here, and it said that it was going to flood. Our streets were going to flood. So in preparation for the flood, a lot of the houses here lost power. So a whole lot of neighbours brought their food round here because they didn't want it to spoil in the fridges. We had gas stoves, we had a generator, so we cooked all the ingredients together, and I made it into a big chicken pie because there was chicken, there was potatoes, and and there was pastry. The neighbours just said, you should do this as a business, just say, right, we've got all these ingredients, what should we do? Let's just cook together and then enjoy a meal together. And one neighbor just says, right, so in 2 weeks time, we're gonna have a cooking club at our house. We'll charge everyone $10 and they can come over and learn how to cook something. So I taught them how to make dumplings, and that was the first Cooking Club Brisbane workshop. And it was dumplings, and it was great. And then next week people asked for more because they missed out on that one, and then the week after so it just rolled on from there. It was completely accidental. From there, the Saucy Wench came about from the workshops. We would have people who would ring up and say, oh look, I'm coming for your workshop, but I'm vegan, or I'm gluten-free, or I'm allergic to MSG or a certain preservative. There was a girl who was vegan. There was also another girl who couldn't eat pork. One of my sons had really bad eczema, and I don't know if it was additives in food that caused his eczema, but as a mum, you try everything. You eliminate whatever allergens there are that could cause eczema. That was one way I did it. I cooked a lot of things from scratch. So I made the chili oil, and someone remarked, oh, could I buy the chili oil? It's absolutely delicious. I just gave her a jar. And then the next time I had a satay workshop, I also made my own satay sauce, which is a Malaysian style satay sauce. And again, someone said, can I buy the satay sauce? And then, more and more people asked for the chili oil and the satay sauce. So I just made them, and then there was a sweet chili came along into it, my own brand of sweet chili sauce. So it just started from there, just from people saying, oh, I love this. Where did you get it? And I go, I made it myself. They go, well, can I have some? And I just started selling it that way. Demand became so much that I actually had to go legit and get a food business license and a food safety certificate and actually produce it commercially instead of just, you know, one jar here, one jar there. We have 9 in the range. The original, the OG, is the Saucy Wench chili oil. So I'm sure you're all familiar with Lao Gan Ma, which is a chili oil from China. So this is very similar but better. So so this chili oil. So all my sauces are vegan and gluten free. So and also the good thing about it is I source everything locally. So this is Queensland chilies, Kingaroy peanuts and peanut oil. So that's in Queensland as well. The biggest seller is the satay sauce because it's quite a mild satay sauce. Again, it's sweet and mild. It's a Malaysian style one, and again, it's vegan, so it's got no shrimp paste. It's just lovely roasted Kingaroy peanuts and you know, turmeric, lemongrass in it. You know, it's like really good stuff. It is delicious. That's my mother's favorite. Setting up a business in Australia is hard because there's a lot of red tape to make sure all your food is food safe. So I think recipe wise for all the sauces, that was all up here, and I was quite confident with that. Where I lacked confidence is probably the business setup. So that was a big learning curve for me, but there are a lot of resources online for me to find out, you know, the right certification, the right licenses to have, and you just need to ask, and people are very helpful. If they know something about it, they will help you out, which is the wonderful thing. No one here that I've found has been particularly secretive to stop me from starting a business. You know, there hasn't been a lot of petty jealousy or anything like that. I think everyone's been really helpful. So the small business community has been really supportive. So I really thank the small business community for that. On average per week, I would make 2 20-litre pots. So that's 40 litres. That's nearly 100 jars a week. Yeah, but in that sense, 100 jars a week, still a very small batch. So, you know, whatever sauce you get from the Saucy Wench is pretty fresh. I have a commercial kitchen. So right now, because my operation is still very small, I share a commercial kitchen space here in East Brisbane. Tuesday and Wednesday, I'll be cooking at the commercial kitchen to make the sauces. Usually takes me about 4 to 5 hours for each session. I do most of the work myself, from chopping all the chilies to peeling all the onions, and they're all cooked down for hours, and I'm the one there stirring it. And then after stirring it, when it's just right and I've tasted it, and I go, yeah, that's right. I sterilize the jars.
They're probably harder.
They're probably hot.
This has to be above 80 degrees.
Yeah.
And I fill each jar and I put the lid on and everything. On Friday is when I pack my van ready for the Saturday market. Being at the market is a lot of fun. It is hard work though, so you've got to get up at 4 in the morning. I'm lucky that I live so close, I only get up at 4 in the morning. If I ever need help setting up, say I'm by myself, and the gazebo that we set up, which is the tent, is pretty heavy, I can always count on someone, a neighbouring stallholder, to help me put it up.
You need to spray that.
See, everyone comes and helps anyway. We really support each other as fellow stallholders. My conversations with customers are a little bit different. A lot of them come with recipes and say, oh, guess what I did with your chili oil? I did this. And I go, right. Sometimes I write it down because it sounds so good. It sounds so very good. And I've actually got a cookbook full of these recipes, or sometimes I post them on Instagram. So I hope my niece and nephew out there is going to share this with Uncle Roger, so Auntie Saucy also become viral. Okay, so we're going to, I mean, of course, there's an occasional difficult customer, but that's bound to happen, right? I think the most wonderful thing is it's a very personal service. So each person that comes to your stall is interested in your product and they want to hear more about it. And if you're the producer, like I'm the producer, I am also very enthusiastic to tell them about it. And that, I guess maybe that enthusiasm spreads. I like doing the market.
Well, I tell you, you really got a talent, so, and you got a brand.
Oh, thank you.
So
Thank you so
actually,
much.
brand is very important,
Thank
and you really got a brand. So,
Thank you. That's very kind of you.
Thank you. No, I'm gonna eat it and I'll love it.
Okay,
Bye-bye.
thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. See you. Probably will do a sauce with this one day because the leaves are very aromatic and I got a lot of it. So this is the actual cafe lime fruit. It's really good for, it's not good for eating, but good for putting in like soda water and things like that. Replicate the Southeast Asian flavor or the Chinese flavors using Aussie produce. I think it's well known that Australian produce is some of the best in the world. I mean, we export over to Asia, you know. So like the plums in the plum sauce, it would be the best plums. It wouldn't be a plum extract. For me, I was actually happier using Aussie produce, and I also specifically go for spray-free produce as well. So that it also reduces the amount of pesticides in our food. The freshness is in the flavor, definitely. And boy, Aussie chilies can be hot because it can get really hot here in Australia. So believe it or not, with the heat wave we've been having, the last batch of chili oil is the hottest I've ever made. Was I afraid of bringing my culture over here to Australia and New Zealand? I don't think so. I'm very thick-skinned. I'm very me, I guess. I don't really want to be anybody else. I love my Asian culture, but I also love that it's part of me. It's not everything about me. I'm quite flexible to learn new ways of looking at things, but I do love the culture, the Chinese culture and the Malaysian culture behind our food and our rituals and our celebrations and everything. My plans going forward with the sauces next year in 2020, I'd love Australia-wide distribution. That is my main goal. Eventually, if I get enough distribution, get my own place. Okay, so there's two goals. Distribution and get my own kitchen. My advice to someone wanting to bring their food or their product or their creation to a market is just to do it. Go ahead and do it. I mean, you know, you never know until you actually do it. The answer will always be no. At least if you do it, you could either test whether your product is fantastic or needs a bit of work, you know. If you don't bring it to the market at all, then you will never know. So do it. Bring it to the market and see how you go. Hi, I'm Lisa Liu. I'm the Saucy Wench, and I'm originally from Malaysia, and I make sauces and dumplings right here in Brisbane with spray-free produce, sourced as much as possible from Queensland.